Hello there, my name is David Itel, and you're watching another Intro to Excel video. In today's lesson, we are going to focus on the left and right functions, and let's get started. So the left and right functions are similar to the concatenate function in that they help us categorize or compile data and words and numbers in the way that we want them to be. So you can take sloppy or kind of data that isn't consistent and make it consistent using the left and right functions. Let me show you what I mean by that. On this first set of data, we have a list of employees' names in a method of first name space last name. Now let's say we wanted to break those up. We could start with the equals left function and select our first team member, Bry Cox. And if we hit comma, the argument says look at this cell and then give us X amount of characters from the left hand over. So Bry's name is 3 characters. So if we hit in 3, and hit enter, you can see we get Bry's name perfectly the way we want. Now, if we do the same thing with the right function, equals right, and we do comma, 3 again, it looks from the right-hand side of the cell, looks in 3 characters and returns the name Bry Cox. Right now we have a first name, last name function. Now, this is great for if everyone's name or if the functions that you're using, like let's say you're using numerical functions like phone numbers that are consistent. That's really easy. All you need is left and right and everything works out fine. But with names, it's not as easy. You can see Bry Cox came over just fine, but Dylan James didn't work, Gavin Diaz, Alice Perez, like these names don't work because they're not all 3 letters and 3 letters. We could change these. For instance, Perez is 5 characters, so we could change this to 5, or Alice is 5, and Perez is also 5. And now it looks good, but again, we'd have to manually do that for, let's say, 100 employees. So that's not going to work for us. Let's get a little bit more sophisticated here. Now, because everyone has a first name and then space a last name, we can use the left function with a helper function on board to always cut us right before the space bar. Okay, let's show what that looks like. We're going to hit equals left. We're going to select our cell, A3, like we did before. We're going to hit comma, and then when it tells us the number of characters, we're not going to actually kick out a number. We're going to use the function find. Now the find function says look for a specific keystroke or set of keystrokes within a cell, and then tell me how many characters that's in. So we're looking for the, in quotation marks, we're looking for the quote space function or space character that's in this first name last name, and we want to find it within A3. We hit equals, it's going to say wait a minute, close off all those parentheses, which we're not great at. We hit equal, or we hit enter, and we get Bry. Now, if we use this function with all of our team members' first names, you can see it brings it back all of them their full name instead of just the first 3 letters. Now, the way that works, right, is that it's searching for the find, or it's finding the spacebar and then telling the left function the spacebar is 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 characters into the cell. So that's how the find function helps us always get what we need, which is the first name. Now, with the right side of this equation, it takes a little bit more skill. Because of the way the left and right function works, the characters are always different, right? But depending on whether or not you're looking from the left hand or the right hand, the number of characters is going to be different. So for instance, if I wanted to collect the first name Bry using the right function, Bry is 7 characters in. So if I type in A3, which is Bry's name, and then 7, we just get the whole thing. We want just Bry. Well, that's where using the left and right functions appropriately really helps us out. So when using the right function, especially with a find, we're going to use one more method. We're going to hit equals right. We're going to select A3 like we did before, our name. We are going to select, again, for the number of characters, this time we're going to use a len function. And the len function gives us the total number of characters in that cell. So if we hit enter here, it's going to give us the whole, that gives us all 7. But we want to only look at the ones that are on the other side of the spacebar, right? The right-hand side of the spacebar, which would be the last name. So we are going to subtract find the spacebar on our A3 cell. So quotes spacebar quote, find that in this, and subtract that from the total number. That way we know we're going to be subtracting the first half of it and just getting the last name. We'll hit enter. Oh, and of course our multiple parentheses. Because there are 3 arguments here, the right, the len, and the find function, we do have to have all of our parentheses properly put in. And you can see we have our Bry Cox. Now, if we cascade that down, all the last names work. Now, these functions can be used in reverse, meaning you can use the right and left depending on how your data is structured. Let's see how that looks, right? On this side of our data over here, we're looking at a local burger joints menu. So their first burger here is a double. If we wanted to get the prices, it'd be quite easy to just do equals right, and you can see that all of the prices are $ and then the price value. So we're going to look at $, that's character number 1, the dollar value, the period, and then the 2 cent values. So it's going to be 5 characters. If we hit in 5, comma 5, we now get our price. So now we have pulled the prices out of this data. Really, really useful, especially if you're trying to recategorize your data in different Excel spreadsheets and data formats. Well, if we tried to use equals left and we hit, like let's say for drinks down here, we'll go down to drink. Drink is a 5-letter word. So we use the left function and we hit 5. We get drink, which is great. Do we get shakes? Nope, we get shake. And instead of grilled cheese, we get grill. Once again, we have to use the find function to help us find that modifier or that splitter between the dollar amount and the actual item on the menu. So how do we do that? We use the left, and then we select our cell, comma, and we don't have to use the len this time because we're not doing anything on the right-hand side. We're actually going to be using the find function, find. We're going to be finding the quotes space $. We're actually looking for the $ as well, which is really useful. Again, if your data has like multiple slashes, or let's say it's like 35 characters long and you want to find something in between 2 characters, that's how you can use the find function. We're going to look for that. Again, we're going to look for it within the A16 cell, and multiple parentheses there. Hit enter, and now we have our double, and everything pulls out just fine. So the left and right function, again, become very, very useful as we build larger data sets, and if we want those data sets to be structured a certain way so that all of our formulas can flow properly through whatever analyticals we're doing. So I hope you found that useful, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks.